Easy people, hope you're all well. This is Streetman Sam, and this is the second video that I'm doing for sort of a beginner's guide to Logic Pro X, and showing sort of the beginners that you don't need a lot of musical equipment or any knowledge of MIDI or anything to basically get a good basic idea down if you have a musical idea, and be able to pull up a drum track and be able to get a groove that fits your idea pretty quickly. So this example is just going to be with a microphone that I've got. I've got a mic stand and a pop shield, but if you haven't got any of them, you can just hold your mic in your hand. So just a quick recap on the first video. It was basically saying that if you're going to use a microphone or if you have a guitar or a bass, you will need what is called an audio interface, and that is so you can plug your instrument in, and then that interface through MIDI cables goes into the back of your computer or on the side, via some USB slots. So because you can't plug your instrument straight into the computer, so you'll also connect your speakers from this audio interface, and you'll need to have XLR leads and stereo jack leads depending on your instrument, and that to go into the audio interface. So there's some basic things that you'll need to have. If you're going to start making some new house music for your DJ, you might not need that at the moment. You might just use some MIDI on Logic and some beats, but this is for people that may have a microphone and that. So so when you load Logic up from your desktop, you'll see and this will come up when you open it up, empty project. But this is the project that I've done in the first video, and it was just basically I had an audio channel. So we'll just go have a look again at adding how you add tracks. And if you go to this button here and sort of near the left hand corner, this is the add button, and once you press on that, that comes up and it gives you selections of what kind of tracks you want. Now I've got a microphone connected, so that's audio. Software instruments are all in-house sort of virtual things, virtual instruments that you can play a number of drum kits and and pianos and basses and a number of instruments. So but if you want to add an audio track, you can just press enter on your keyboard, or you can come down to create. Get used to using your keyboard, loads of little shortcuts, that's better, to depending where your hands are. So, an audio track comes up. So if you look at this first track that I played in, and just for argument's sake, I've just put a gain plugin in it, just so you can hear it a bit better, because if you look at it, it's quite a low recording. I shouldn't have done this really, it's my mistake, and that's quite a low recording. But then we don't want our recordings to be too high, so to speak. But if we just have a quick listen to that bass line that I sung into my microphone, and what you can do is if you come up to this button here, where it's next to the 1, 2, 3, 4. This button here is called a metronome, and it's a great thing to record to and keep in time and get the tempo of your track. You might not know it, but you can just play Logic and put that on, and and this is where you make your tempo. So Logic automatically goes to 120 BPM. Your track riff idea may be 100. If you double click on that, it gives you the option to change it. Most music is in 4/4. If you're writing different time signatures, you can change it there. Most music we know is in 4/4. But this metronome's quite good. So basically, if we just quickly listen to this bass line with the metronome on it, and it was a 4-bar loop that I made, just a very simple idea that I had. So let's have a listen to it. So that clicking sound is the metronome, and it just gives you because when you record in Logic, unless you have anything backing up, there's nothing to record to your first sort of thing. So add the metronome on, and it gives you something to keep in time to. So that's that's quite a good thing to use. But yeah, as I say, before you start recording as well, in the first video, what you should do is go to your top left hand corner and you'll see Logic Pro X come up. If you click on that and come down to preferences and your audio, and what you'll see is this where your audio interface will come up. you'll have to connect it. And I'm going through a M Audio M Track. It's just a simple 2-input channel interfaces. As I say, there's quite a varied, you know, from cheaper to expensive ones. So just starting off, you won't need a, you know, really expensive one. Depends how much money you want to spend. It's up to you. But there's plenty of options out there if you want to do a bit of research. And once you know you're connected to your device, and this here is called I/O buffer size. Now, when you're recording your first audio track, if you go to this sort of, if you click on there, you'll see a number of different options, and sort of 1, 2, 8, and 2, 5, 6. When you're recording, have the low latency, so it's good to record. But you know, further down the line, you know, the top ones are for when you're mixing your tracks, and you have quite a few tracks all down here, you know, and then you're using a lot of compressors and delays and EQs and that. So you'll need a bigger sort of buffer size for your computer to, you know, cope with it. So, but for the moment, we're on 128, so we're just going to keep it on that. So, and then basically what I used as well is once you've got your idea down and you know you've looped it, and hopefully you're using a metronome and it's in time, you know, basically what you can do is there's a thing in Logic called it's a drummer channel, and when you, let's go to add a track again, just so you can see. If we add a track like that, you'll see next to audio is a thing called drummer, and when you click on that, basically this will come up, a drum kit, and you know, we're going to cancel that because we already brought one up in the previous one, so it's already here, and it will give you a region to come up, and you know, some drums will come up, or yeah, so yeah, so we got a drummer region up, and drummer will just give you a sample to play with. But the really good thing is if you click on it, it brings up its interface, and there's a little button down here, little box, sorry, down near the right hand corner, and it's got follow, and basically if you click that, it will bring up all tracks that you've got in already. We've only got one track already, the bass, which we named by double clicking on it, and then you can name it because it just comes up audio like that. But you know, the drummer track gives you the option to basically, if you say, well, I want to follow the bass track, you know, that we've recorded with our voice, and if you follow it, and it basically gives you, it will basically give you a track that fits the groove already. And here is its other little interface, and with this dial here, you can move to different kind of beats, but it'll always be this, you know, in the groove of your thing. You can have it loud, soft, complex, simple, you know, and there's a great little dial here on the right hand side that's a fill dial, and that basically gives the drummer, you know, you can make different fills at the end of the bar. So so yeah, drummer track is absolutely brilliant to use. You know, you can take out things, and there's different percussions here, but just to get that basic idea, if you press the follow and you press your track, click on your track, it will follow there. So that's, you know, great thing to use. So we did that in the first video, and so let's just have a listen to what we've got here. So we've bumped the bass up a bit with a gain channel, but this is the drums and the bass fitting each other. Turn the metronome off. So you can hear the little fill at the end, but that's quite a tight little jam, you know. Sorry for speaking over it there, but yeah, you can hear that the drums are sort of connecting to the bass already, and it's just a 4-bar loop that you might be able to sing in, and whether it's a bass line or, you know, some sounds like guitar chords or piano, whatever your idea is that you're able to record in, you know, you can get drums to fit it quite quickly. So, but one thing that I do want to say is, just take that off, is that this recording I did originally was too low. So, and you know, you don't want your recordings too low, and you don't want your recordings too high. because if they're too high, they become distorted and they're hard to get into the mix and everything. And if they're too low, you've got to add a bit of stuff. So it's about getting, you know, a good recording. So I've opened up another audio channel here. So I'm just going to mute this bass. If you go over to your bass, M stands for mute, and S will stand for solo, where you hear only that track in solo. So we're going to mute that for the moment, and we're going to come down here, and we're going to, and this is your input, so you can hear it when you know, so my microphone is connected to this channel. I've checked my input, I'm in input 1. And when you want to record, come down and press the R. So that arms the track, is ready to record. And so basically, so what I just wanted to say quickly was how to, you know, go about getting a good recording level. So basically, I've got my microphone set up, so I'm going to have to go around to the other side. But you'll hear this coming through. So if I just go a simple bass, you'll see, you know, on your channel over it, it's coming up quite low. So, you know, on your audio interface, you'll have a gain dial that for your source input, you know, your microphone or your guitar, your instrument, and you know, that's quite low. So that was at 12 o'clock, that sample. So I'm just going to turn it up to 3 o'clock. So I've turned it up like a quarter of a difference. And let's see that. You know, so that's coming up a bit more beefier, so to speak. So what we're going to do is we're going to record. We're going to re-record that bass track with the drums, and I'm just going to do a 4-bar loop, pretty simple 4-bar loop. And yeah, so another thing is, so when you want to record, you can come up here, and this is your record button. Or for a simple little shortcut on the keyboard, you just press R. And that will let you record in this bar. A good thing to put on as well is 1, 2, 3, 4, that box there, because it gives you a 4-bar counting instead of just recording straight from there. So so yeah, so I'm going to set to record, and I'm going to sing in my bass line over the drums that we put in, and hopefully get a bit more of a fatter signal. So let's go. And then press spacebar to stop. So you can see I started a bit, but you know, when I finally go in there, in fact what I'm going to do is take that off, and I'm going to turn my input gain up on the audio interface a bit more, just a tad more, and sing that bass line again. So stuff like that. So you can clearly see that signal there is a lot thicker than that. That's a good signal to work with, you know. And there's plenty of things that you can do later on in the process of being able to go over to here and add, you know, audio effects and EQs and stuff that can really boost your sound. Don't get bogged down at that in the moment, because it's a whole different world. It's a great world to get into, but just for the moment, it's just about capturing your initial musical idea, and that there, and we can put it, as I say, with the drums. So what we're going to do is, as well, is just click on that, and then we're going to press Alt, which is the button next to the command button, and Alt, and we're just going to move it like that once we've highlighted it. So we've just moved it over. So now we've got an 8-bar loop. So if you listen as well, I mean, you can see it, the drum fill here is quite different. It's a bit more, you know, a bit more energetic compared to the first one, because I've changed it. So, and what we're doing is we're just going to cycle the whole thing. So if you come up to your cycle bar, which you can turn on and off with just C, the button C on your keyboard, or you can, you know, you can tap on a thing, a region, and write on it, but then drag it along, you know, and that, when that sort of arrow comes up there, you can do that. So get used to that. But this is our new 8-bar loop, basically, with a better recording. just going to take the R off there because we've recorded it. So this is the new drums and bass. Nice, I like that. That's a nice feel right at the end there. So, so yeah, we've got a better recording, and you know, I mean, I know I went and put a gain channel on that bass channel up the top, you know, but in fact, what we'll do is just to show you, possibly, if your sample is a bit too low, like that one, if you come over to this channel, your channel strip here, there's a thing called audio effects, and there's a whole list of things, but there's a thing called gain, which I'm using. I'd like to be able to tell you where is the gain on. I know it's at the top, but you'll have to go through these just to see where it is. Apologies. Oh no, hang on, I'll show you that now. I'm just going to put that on and just add a bit more gain, just so you can hear that bass line. So you can hear that quite clearly, you know, and it's just about capturing them initial ideas, you know. That won't be the final edits, you know. Don't worry about, just get your ideas down. That's the main thing to do with Logic, and once you've got them down, you can build on your ideas. So this video's gone on a bit longer than, sorry, it's coming in, you know, nearly to 20 minutes now. I hope you're getting a little something from these videos, just very basic, and you know, just get used to recording, getting levels in, and adding your drum track, and then you can get a groove and you can muck about with it. And get it to so it fits your groove. So in the next video, what I'm going to show you is that if you don't own a keyboard, musical keyboard, or a MIDI keyboard to play on, like myself, I don't own them, you can use your normal writing keyboard that you use to write emails on a computer, and you can turn that into sort of a mini piano, and you're able to play piano through that and make some riffs and that. So it's quite cool. So we'll have a look at that in the next video. But yeah, keep practicing, keep enjoying your music, get your ideas down. That's the most important thing. Enjoy the rest of your day. All the best, peeps. See ya.